one of the things about this deck, about Hearthstone, is that you see your opponent's champion before you start playing. So my opponent's playing Warlock, which in the current format generally indicates they're playing a control deck. In Hearthstone, when you mulligan, it's a partial mulligan system. So you can see there I mulliganed 2 of the cards in my hand and got 2 new ones. The wheel is rigged. You get a worthy opponent every time, right? I'm just going to go ahead and end turn here. So they played a 2-1 that drew a card and dealt them some damage. So we just finished wrapping up Magic. I'm assuming we're going to drop probably half or so of the Magic players. So we'll go ahead and play my prints out here. So one of the things you want to know about Hearthstone's combat system, if you haven't played it before, is that your minions can attack other minions directly, which makes all of the units that you have in play basically removal spells. Sounds. Oh yeah, there's great sounds. I forgot. I have the sounds muted because what's it called? MTGO sounds suck. I'm just gonna go ahead and destroy their taunt thing. The fact that they have Stonehill Defender in their deck maybe means they're playing a control Warlock as opposed to the Q-Block deck. Peace JMP, catch you tomorrow night. I forgot. I need to just disable the Moto sound so that way we can always have these on. All right, that's actually great. So I get to go ahead and play the Stonetusk Boar here, and then I get to go ahead and use my coin. When you're on the draw, you basically just the donation button below the stream, K Smith. The donation button below the stream, and then just put a deck code in the donation message. So Dire Frenzy gives a beast +3/+3 and then shuffles 3 copies of it into my deck. And this guy's got charge, which lets him attack right away. Yeah, if you haven't moused over and you want to see what cards do in play or like what my opponent's thing does, you can mouse over lots of stuff. Lots of stuff. So this minion is a sweeper. It's at the start of my opponent's turn, all minions get destroyed. And they played this, so the shield on this means taunt. So while you can, it's all 3 of them get you the command. Exclamation point, donation, Q, Q, and Q. So taunt means I have to attack taunt minions before I attack anything else. So I'm gonna go ahead and attack this, and then I'm gonna play this Deadly Shot, which destroys a random enemy minion. So I think Deadly Shot's actually a good example of a card that kind of gives Hearthstone a bad rap. It's a 3-cost card that destroys a random enemy minion. So while there is variance in that card, I kind of have control over the variance that goes into that card, right? Because I can choose whether or not I'm playing it on a full board or an empty board. So Candleshot gives my hero a weapon. The left number is how much damage this weapon does when it attacks, and the right number is how many uses it has out of it. So this lets me attack for 1. And then Hunter's Mark here lets me set... Where's my primary ladder deck off camera? I like Spell Hunter. That's been my favorite deck so far. I climbed to rank 5 with that one this season. And you can see here, I could have... No, maybe I should have Dire Frenzied there. Yeah, I probably should have Dire Frenzied and gave this +3/+3 instead of hitting my champion power. We are definitely running this guy over. We're definitely running them over so far. I definitely should have done this on here, and they're dead. Didn't matter. Refresh your browser if the integrations haven't come up. I don't have details for donation deck list added there. Tia K Smith, it's a $10 donation for subs if you want to. If you want to do that. All right, let's head back on into the queue, shall we? So we actually didn't even combo our opponent that game. So this deck has kind of a go over the top combo kill for longer matches, but it can just beat people down with our little guy when we get him out that way. The overlay is really great. Not only can you mouse over the cards in the deck list in the overlay, but you can also mouse over cards that are in play. Okay, so opponent's playing Warrior, which I think again is usually a more controlling deck. And Hearthstone's meta just rotated, their standard just rotated into a new format. So like there's a lot of brews and stuff still, but I think I want to mulligan these 2 cards, assuming my opponent's playing a control deck. This hand's pretty good against control deck. All of these cards draw more cards. I don't think I want to play my pig out against a control deck because this is my only pig. So I want to wait until I have the Dire Frenzy in my hand with the pig. I don't think Warrior is considered the Tron of this game. I've heard people refer to Quest Rogue, which is a deck we're going to play later today, as kind of the Tron of this game. And they played a weapon there, which is a reason why I didn't play the pig out, because the weapon would have just killed my pig, and then I'd be down my combo piece. Yeah, I think the only, and I'm rank 5 right now, which is kind of towards the top of the ladder. It's in the last few ranks before Legend, so I play against mostly tiered decks. This little piggy is much smaller. That is very true. So sweet. So I'm gonna go ahead and Hunter's Mark this guy, and then go ahead and attack him with my weapon. And then my champion power is something you can use every turn. It just does 2 to deal 2 damage to the opponent. I think they've decided that I just don't have minions, so they're getting aggressive here, which makes sense. All right, sweet. And there's Dire Frenzy. So I get to go ahead and put my little piggy out. And then I get to go ahead and Dire Frenzy him, which makes him bigger, and then shuffles 3 bigger pigs into my deck. And then next turn, I can play the Warden to pull big pigs out of my deck. Do I want to trade this here? I think I do. I think I just want to preserve my health total. Although they might trade, if they're a control deck, they might trade into me. What does this do? Death Rattle, give a friendly rush minion +2/+1. So they're the rush deck probably. So I'm going to trade here because they're the rush deck. Yeah, it's a mid-range aggressive deck. I think because they have this weapon, it tells me they're probably playing the mid-range version. So I want to err on the side of that. I don't think they want to trade here. Hey, K. Smith with the $15 donation. Prince Liam for the win extra on top. Thanks, bud. Be sure to drop me a deck code. All right, so I'm going to play out this 3/5, which will draw 2 1-drops from my deck. So there's one little piggy, another one. I'm going to go ahead and play the boar here. And now my boar, I'm going to have attack this guy because my 3/5 can eat this for free. I'm not attacking with my champion because this only has 1 durability left on it. I might want to kill something else with it later.
Defend the gates.
It's pretty good. This gets extra power the turn it attacks. Yeah, you're right. I did see Kibler playing this deck yesterday. Rexxar is going to be pretty good next turn. When Rexxar gets deployed, he does 2 damage to every opposing unit. So that's going to kill both of these. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and play Rexxar out, so Rexxar, in addition to giving me armor and shooting all my opponent's stuff when I play him, flips my champion power into something new. And then I'm gonna go ahead and play another Stonetusk Boar out because I still have 1 boar in my deck at this point from the earlier one. So if they kill this, it's not really a big deal.
Defend the gates.
So the rush minion, yep. So that piggy's gonna die. And this makes sense that they're going ahead and popping their weapon now. And the reason they did this is it makes their rush minion bigger. So now their rush minion won't die to my weapon, which is smart. I'm not planning to play Odd Rogue today. I have a bunch of donation decks that we're gonna play. Hey, what's going on, Nox? We're playing a Hunter combo deck that I believe Disgusted Toast was working on previously. Play 12 minions that cost 5 or more. Oh, look at that. We work towards our quest. Disguised Toast? Disguised Toast? Look, I just read that and saw Disgusted and just now I'm not gonna have it in my It's Disguised Toast. That makes sense, I suppose. Alright, so there's been a lot of control mage on the ladder recently. There's been a lot of control mage on the ladder recently, so I don't think I want to keep Candleshot. Deadly Shot's probably good either way. Wing Blast is a little bit slow, so I'm gonna mulligan these two. So we haven't actually gotten to like full-on combo anyone yet, but just like Stonetusk Boring with Dire Frenzy has been really good so far. He used to play while wearing a paper bag in the shape of a piece of toast over his head. That's interesting. Let's go with interesting. So we should hopefully find out pretty quickly whether or not they're on Control Mage or Tempo Mage. So while you do get to know what champion your opponent's playing when the game starts, obviously we don't get to know guaranteed what cards they're playing along with that. Oh, I actually saw... I've been reading the Hearthstone subreddit, the competitive Hearthstone subreddit. This is likely Shudder Mage. Or not Shudder, Spiteful Mage. I said Shudder, because I've been playing Shudder Walk off stream too. It's Spiteful Mage, because they played Book here, which lets them draw cards and discard any spells drawn. Which is a bold card to put in your Spiteful deck. Like, having your Spiteful, like, hit a 2-drop is kind of loose. Quillman, the current Hearthstone, I know people have said the RNG used to be pretty bad, but the current Hearthstone format, honestly, feels a lot less variance than a lot of Magic formats that I've played. I don't think I want to Deadly Shot this, although I guess it's guaranteed to kill this, so maybe Deadly Shotting it's fine. Yeah, I'm actually just gonna Deadly Shot it, just like guaranteed take my hit. Is Hearthstone a good enough reason? Alright, that's fair. Alright, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and Witchwood Piper here, which grabs me my 1-drop out of my deck. And then next turn we can go Little Piggy into Dire Frenzy. Tempo Mage and Odd Rogue are both very cheap right now, and if you played previously, you can probably dust older stuff you had, depending on what you have, to build them. Yeah, I agree, Chris. I understand the draw to the book for sure. We're choosing to keep my board in check here, which makes sense. I guess if they chose to make that trade there, maybe I just want to flanking strike this and keep the board pretty clean. That's probably the case. I'm gonna go ahead and do this, and I'm gonna go ahead and smack this for 1, so that way if it kills my 3/3, I get to smack it for 1 again next turn and finish it off. That's what tips it over the top. The actual cards in Hearthstone probably have a touch more random elements than the cards in Magic do on average, but when you factor in that Magic has such an insane amount of resource variance, the amount of variance total in the game feels much higher. I don't really have a good answer to the Giant right now. Hearthstone's completely free to play if you want it to be. Maybe this Little Piggy. I guess my piggies can probably get there, huh? I get to go ahead and Dire Frenzy this, and then this pig can smash into the Giant, and then next turn I get to go Warden into more pigs. So when this guy comes into play, he grabs 2 1-costs out of my deck. Yeah, silencing this isn't a terrible idea. It definitely gets going and is scary. Another Giant. I think double Giant means we're gonna die here. God, that's a good pickup though.
Come to
So gonna play this pig and smash here and trade. This comes back as a 6-cost 6-sis. I missed a donation. Be Rich with the $10 donation. Thank you. Here you go, Jeff. The deck needs some reps. You want a mulligan for Bearded Gauntlet? Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Can you send me just the deck code from the bottom, Be Rich? It looked like the rest got cut out there because you posted the whole deck in there. Thank you. That I really need to be on top of. It's hard to watch notifications because this game has a shorter timer. I think I want to play this other pig. The question is... Yeah, it's just a giant mage, yep. Yeah, they're not even. They're just playing like a troop-based mage deck. Yeah, I think we're just gonna die to this giant and this bird. I have like Stonehill Defender a little bit here. Hopefully they don't have too much reach in their deck. Gross. That's really good. We're going to 10 here. With the pig getting frozen, I think we're just dead at this point. Yeah, we're pretty dead. Double. Max hand size in Hearthstone is 10. So if you go to draw a card and you have 10 cards in your hand, the card just gets destroyed. This deck actually seems pretty sweet. I've been playing a lot of Spell Hunter just because Rexxar is my favorite card in Hearthstone right now, I think. So this seems like a pretty sweet Rexxar deck. I could have played, so like, it wasn't about I was dead on board that turn. It was that I didn't really have a series of draws that allow me to stay in that game. So I'd much rather just like move on to the next one. Yeah, and like the hand size system actually ends up adding, I think this Priestess again, they're a more controlling deck. There's a lot of control decks in the current format. Those are okay. The control decks do have some larger units, so putting their health total to 1. Spellbreaker will be good. They have, so Silence takes all modifiers and the text box off of a unit, and there's a lot of units with those effects. Gross, that sucks, Apprentice. At least it's not freezing out anymore. Hopefully it's not burning up where you're at. Yep, so the priest power just heals themselves. We're just gonna sit here back and forth nugging each other, it looks like. Stonehill Defender. Is it too aggressive to just play out Spellbreaker here? Okay, now that I found a better one, I'm just gonna play this out. So Stonehill Defender, when he comes into play, he discovers another taunt minion. This is pretty bad because my opponent's always gonna have lots of cards in their hand. I'm just gonna take the Drake, I think. And the Drake might be able to sweep up at some point here. I really like the Discover mechanic. So the Discover mechanic's another mechanic. So when you discover a specific thing, you basically you get your choice of 3 different things that meet that requirement to pick from. And I like the Discover mechanic overall because while it does have some variance, you get to make a decision while you're doing it, and it creates unique play patterns by creating cards that you might otherwise not play with. And that kind of dynamic gameplay that creates different play patterns is good for gameplay, I think.
What was lost can be found again.
So every minion in your deck, health equal to attack. That's interesting. So Hunter's Mark plus Drake is good, that's true. I think I just want to get Rexxar going here, huh? I think I'm just gonna smash here and then play Rexxar out to finish off their 5/5. Because their heal power can heal their units too, so generally speaking, you want to be a little bit aggressive with finishing their things off fully, so they can't just heal them back up. I think the people that complain about RNG from something like the Discover mechanic don't appreciate the fact that variance is good for gameplay overall. Without variance, a lot of people would not like games like Hearthstone. They would be complaining that the game is they can't, when they just wouldn't play, right? It'd be like chess where they just wouldn't be able to play. So my champion power here lets me pick from 2 different monsters, and it takes them and shoves them together basically. My opponent, is this a Murloc? It's not. I think I'm gonna take this just because it's cheap. Stealth Poisonous is pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and play out this Timberwolf, I think, and then go ahead and use my Dire Frenzy on it. So get a bunch more Timberwolves into my deck and pass the turn. One of the things that's weird to me about this particular configuration that I'm playing is that it has a split between Boar and Timberwolf. So I wonder if there's a situation where Timberwolf is better than Boar or vice versa. Oh, there's a pig, speaking of. So I think I'm gonna play the Warden, because this gets me 2 more wolves out of my deck, right? Guaranteed, because they're the only 1-drops left. And these power each other up, so this is a 6/4 now, so this gets to smash this into the ground. I don't think I want to play my pig out. I think I'm gonna save pig plus Hunter's Mark to kill something later. So this is a viewer submitted deck list, so I'm not quite 100% sure why they've made all the decisions that they've made. So we have 1 4/4 Timberwolf left in our deck at this point. That's a beating. So this thing changes his champion power, and it destroys all minions with 5 or more attacks, so all of those die. I think I'm just gonna mark plus Drake here, honestly. Yeah, I feel like the wolf would be better as a second board too. I agree.
Pinch of death cup, heel of shoot.
Charges, very good. Oh, they're playing Spiteful Priest. That's interesting. Char Creeper is really annoying. It's a good draw. Why does that? Oh, it is attack equal to its health. That's really good. All right, so this lets me find a minion out of my deck, so we're definitely gonna go do that. I think I just want another shot at that. We're looking for my Emeriss at this point. Perfect. Double the attack and health of all minions in my hand. Sign me up. I'm gonna go ahead and silence this, which should turn it back into a 1/5, I believe. Yep. Then my 4/8 can smash into here and finish it off. End the turn. Their power now deals 2 damage, and every time they play a card, they can redo it. Yes, it draws a copy. So you can see on the deck tracker there's still an Emeriss left in my deck, even though I have one in my hand now. I think I'm just gonna slam this. Welcome to the jam. I don't think I want to smash these into here. We're taking 14 this turn, so we're actually getting pretty close to dead, right? In fact, if they have like a couple of units to play out, their champion power can allow them to kill us this turn potentially. Harrison is very large, you're not wrong. The Stonehill Defender is going to be pretty large. Ooh, the fact that they're killing our minions is really good for us. That seems great for me. Wonder if they're gonna double trade for my 8/8 here. Indiana Jones is real big. Oh, they're gonna hit this, plus hit it with this, plus hit it with this probably, and then smack me for 13. This is a good line on the opponent's part. So I have one big taunt boy here. So I could play this, Dire Frenzy it, and then draw one back out of my deck. That doesn't seem very good though. I'm gonna start with this and see what we get. Another taunt minion is great, so sign me up on that one. Maybe I should have started here. Adapt to Friendly Beast. If you control at least 2 other minions, gain taunt. Adapting a beast is okay. Wind Fury lets it attack twice. I'll go ahead and play this out. Bloat a bat. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, the bat hope for poisonous is an interesting line. I'm gonna play this guy out. I guess they can snipe this with their champion power. Hopefully my taunts keep me alive here. No. When this guy comes into play, deal 3 to everything, and that's gonna be all she wrote. Good game, opponent. So they cleared my board, silenced my guy, and then get to attack for lethal. Yeah, honestly, so like the goal, this deck was put together with the goal of like playing. How much to get into this? Also, is there a monthly sub? They don't have a monthly subscription option, Samuel Jackson. So I built a budget version of a tier 1 deck by putting like $5 into the game, buying their classic pack, and then I had a tier 1 deck and most of a second deck by putting $50 in. So Tempo Mage and Odd Rogue are both very reasonable choices for budget decks.
Let the hunt begin.
So they're playing Mage. I'm gonna mulligan these Hunter's Marks because they're really slow. Honestly, so sorry, back to this. I'm floating around rank 5. It's fine, I don't care. I have no aspirations of being this big tournament competitive Hearthstone player, so I'm just playing decks to have a good time. So anyways, back to this deck. It feels like the Emeriss go over the top plan doesn't seem very good in this deck, but the Dire Frenzy plus the Stonetusk Boar or Timberwolf actually both seem really good, along with the Warden and the Piper to pull them back out of our deck. Holy crap, we're very dead here. So they have Mana Worms, which is their most aggressive card on the play, and then they played a card that protects it, so I'm not going to be able to attack and kill them. So you can't lose stars. You can't lose stars. So here's, what did you buy to get decks? Just classic packs? Yeah, I bought a little bit of everything at this point, but in general, classic packs or Witchwood packs are the best investment right now in terms of getting things that you care about, because classic never rotates out of standard, and Witchwood is going to be legal in standard for 2 more years.
Rexxar versus Malfurion.
I mean, 55%'s a fine win rate.
Let the hunt begin.
That seems very good. Yeah, I really like the Dire Frenzy, like Warden package seems really sweet. Like these cards were obviously like meant to be played together, it feels like, but some of the top end cards seem really clunky in this deck. Yeah, I think it was just too slow. Every 5th rank locks you in. So at 10, 15, and 5, feel free to screw around with the ladder decks that you're playing, because you can't drop below that rank. Which is why I really don't feel bad, because I've been floating around rank 5 to rank 3 just playing decks off stream, so. Yep, yeah, I agree with that. If you're over that percentage, you're doing something very good. You can't lose stars at specific bricks. So at rank 5, 0 stars, you can't lose stars. At rank 10, 0 stars, you can't lose stars. And like, I've heard people talk about the ladder being a grind. Honestly, if you feel like the ladder is a grind and you're not having fun, you probably just shouldn't play. Like, you should play games to have fun. So I'm a pretty firm believer in that if you're not deriving enjoyment out of what you're doing and it's a game, you probably should just stop doing it.
I hunt alone.
Who do the win? I think that's actually a valid question. Hearthstone has a lot less variance in a lot of parts of it because there's no resource variance. And when you combine the fact that there's no resource variance along with the fact that the games tend to be very short, losses feel a lot less bad in my opinion because the games are shorter. So like when I lose a 50-minute match of Magic to a bad beat, it's really kind of tilting, right? Like, I invested a lot of time losing to that bad beat. Whereas in Hearthstone, if I lose a 5-minute match to a bad beat, it's like, oh, I'm just going to queue up and play another 5-minute match here really quick. Yeah, and if you're having fun on the ladder, that's why you should be playing. You should be playing because you enjoy it. Perfect, Be Rich. That works out perfectly. I'll get that updated after I'm done streaming today. So, swipe. If you ever miss something your opponent does while you're playing, there's a little thing over here on the side that shows you. Well, that'll be good if they play more minions out. So I'm gonna go ahead and attack them here, wear their armor down, and then my Warden here is gonna grab 2 1-drops out of my deck, which are Timberwolves most likely. I guess I have a Boar in there too. I've not touched the PvE content at all yet. I've been so wrapped up in learning their standard constructed that I haven't quite dove in there. Tilt. I got to kill my 5-1. I have 2 of them. Gross. Unleash does work well with the Timberwolf. That's true. So I'm gonna go ahead and play Wolfie out here, and then I'm gonna play the Boar. And I think I'm just gonna shoot them and just like start going face here. Just like try and beat them down. The opponent could be playing Taunt Druid. Not 100% familiar with all the cards in that deck. Yeah, and I think, like, I feel like a lot of Magic players have it very ingrained in their mind for whatever reason that a game is only interactive if I can play when it's not my turn. And I think that's just like a silly summary. I think this game, most games of Hearthstone that I play are far more interactive than most games of Magic that I play because of the way the combat system in Hearthstone works. The combat system in Hearthstone makes the game extremely interactive. When every minion you play is effectively a removal spell when you need it to be, the gameplay is very interactive. The Twitch HUDs are incredible. I learned how to play this game so much faster than any other card game I played because I could mouse over the things on Twitch. It was just A+. Well, that was the perfect draw. So this is why I've been saving the last point on my weapon here, because now I can use this to knock this down and then kill it with my weapon. So this has charge. That's not really quite worthwhile yet. They're 18, so let's go ahead and set that to 1 and then poke it. Oh, I should have played this first, right? Because this costs 1 per the attack on my thing. We're getting in here pretty well. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and lead on Stonehill Defender and see what we find. Beasts are good because beasts get extra power from him. It gives my other beastlies more attack. And if my opponent doesn't have a big play here, they're gonna be in a lot of trouble. Lich King's an 8/8 with taunt, so that's a big guy I gotta get through. That's a deadly shot. Kill you.
I can see.
Yeah, so this was our first donation deck for the afternoon for Hearthstone. This deck seems really sweet. I'm probably gonna work on this some more off stream just because I really like Rexxar and I kind of want to find the best hunter deck. I think the Emeriss at the top end is probably too clunky And I would definitely consider just like bringing the curve down and just like going in on the card that like gives our 1/1 +3/+3 and shuffles more copies in. Like that generates some real card advantage. All right. What's the next deck we're playing today? Inner Fire